So recently, Eric W. Schwartz on his Patreon, and I'm pretty sure by now on the regular SabrinaOnline.com webpage or Sabrina-online.com webpage, he posted the latest, or basically one of the latest panels, pages, if you will, for the Stripes and Links storyline that he's doing with Zig Zag, where he's focusing on Zig Zag trying to pretty much deal with the repercussions of what she did by kissing Indora, Sabrina's mom, while they were out at a bar having a few drinks. Now, a lot of us have come up with our assumptions and everything as to where we think this could be leading when it's all said and done. And if it goes the route that's very identical and similar to what, they did with Zig Zag going on this troll hunt to hunt down all the trolls that were harassing her online. And that kind of bled into a Fur After Dark storyline called, Adventure Begins at Home or something like that, where we have the, sexual lesbian interaction, very intimate interaction between her and Helena Dish, who's the mom of one of the trolls. If it kind of goes that route, then I could see us getting a story coming out of this, down the line. I could see a story coming out of this down the line where it focuses on her and Endora actually getting it on. I could see that because there's a lot of different elements at play here. A lot of different kind of theories and speculations of, okay, is this awakening something in Endora that, she's kept hidden, even from her husband and from Sabrina, is this, is this gonna, kind of make Zig Zag realize that, hey, there are certain people like a Sabrina, more than you think, that will not just be so receptive of your advances, either whether or not you intended it or unintended it to happen due to your mental capacity after, let's say, a few drinks. There's a lot of different kind of theories and speculations at play, but what's interesting, though, is in the latest pages, she went and visited casually, not appointment-wise, but casually, the therapist guy who is basically the fusoid. I think that's what they call it, the persona, the fusona, if you will, the fursona. Yeah, that's what it's called, the fursona of Eric W. Schwartz himself. She went to go visit him, have a casual conversation, not appointment-wise, because even he made it clear, hey, we can't, do this, appointment professionally kind of stuff, deal. So she went to go visit the fursona, I'm trying to find the right word to say, fursona of Eric W. Schwartz, who's portrayed as a therapist. But again, it's more of a casual visit, kind of get things off her chest. And she kind of makes it out to, be exactly that. It's not an actual appointment. It's just, hey, I want to get something off my chest, casual talk, whatever. Because, what Eric's fursona, yeah, I'm trying to make sure I get the right word right, fursona is just another one of her, I guess you could say, playmates, another one of Zig Zag's friendly playmates that is a friend with benefits, if you know what I mean. The friendship is one with benefits. Anyway, long story short, she kind of, as they're discussing, they're talking, it turns out that, what the doctor tells her friend with benefits tells her, is that the reason Zig Zag did what she did with Endora, and maybe, why she had tried what she did with, Sabrina in the past, and maybe some others that have been like, hey, I don't swing that way, or I don't play that way, is it might be something tied to her past. Now, we all know that in her past, she had been abused by her parents, her siblings had been abused, and she, took them, and I guess she basically became the protector, the guardian of them, took care of them, and it was, when she got on her own, or finally left and got out on her own, she was able to get away from that and, become who she is now. But it's interesting that, he points this out, in the story that maybe it has to do with something in, Zig Zag's past. Like there's something, that, happened then that triggers what she does now. That basically tells her, do it, even if there might be consequences. So that's an interesting little tidbit, and an interesting little twist, if you will, where it kind of where it kind of feels like it's going to tie back to, to her past, to when maybe she was abused, maybe something happened. We don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. It could be something totally different. Maybe there was a situation in her past where she did something similar, but instead of but instead of the other girl kind of being like Endora, kind of being like, I gotta go, and being like shocked, nervous, unsure of what's going on, that maybe what happened in the past is when she did maybe something similar, she might have, just like she did with Endora, she stopped herself, and instead of Endora leaving, the girl in the past instead kissed her back, and it just went from there. Maybe that's what we find out. We're not really sure. But again, have to wait and see. But it is, like I said, it is one of those situations. It is one of those situations to where, from a story aspect, you can throw all kinds of speculations and theories around as to exactly what's going to be, the next, the next movement, like the next step in the story, the next, a revelation, or next, moment that occurs. And again, like I said, a lot of people, and even I'm in this camp, you know. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, this is all in one video, audio video, by the way. But like I was saying, mainly, I'm in, the camp where I truly believe we might, as I said earlier, we might have a story that gets spun off from this to where it's Endora and Zig Zag that get it on with each other. Because, again, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of theorizing as to what will be revealed. I mean, pretty much we're getting a clue that maybe this has to do with Zig Zag's past, and again, maybe she encountered someone in a similar scenario, and then that person, instead of doing what Endora did, after maybe Zig Zag kind of stopped herself as she kissed her like she did with Endora, and been like, oh, my bad. That maybe in the past when she did this, the girl that she did it to kissed her back, and it just domino affected from there. But it's going to be interesting to see exactly what what Eric has up his sleeve for this, because if he does go down that route, like I said, it won't be the first time he's done that, because he did that with like I said, Zig Zag hunting down the trolls and everything, and that culminated in the Adventures of Begin at Home story on with Fur After Dark, with her and Held in a Dish, getting it on in a very lesbian, very intimate, erotic way. So it's just one of those stories right now where you're gonna find out more about Zig Zag, more about her past. Maybe again something similar happened, and mentally maybe she just went off of that, and who knows? We don't really know. But it's gonna be something to really watch out for. I mean, there's a lot of twists and turns that can go here and there with it, and should that happen, it's going to be a very fun journey, I will say that. And this is one of those reasons why, even if you don't support him on Patreon, you should go and support him through the Sabrina-online.com, and just view the page, because he does, like any web page, they do know when they get viewership in there, just like television shows and everything. So or page views in this case. So I would support him there. But if you want to support him financially, Patreon is one way of doing it, because you do get, like, 1 week, like the week he puts up one comic book panel, onto his website, that's the same week he'll put on one that comes out he puts up the newer one that comes out later on the following week or two. So, I would suggest doing Patreon. It's only like $1, and that's about it. I think $1. $1, and it's not too much. It's not too much to ask for, but yeah, the story is really getting interesting, and now we're pretty much seeing and finding out that it might have to do with something in Zig Zag's past. And again, my assumption my assumption is maybe Zig Zag had a similar encounter with somebody, but instead of that person backing off like Endora did, after Zig Zag kind of, stopped herself mid kiss, that person may have kissed her back, and like I said, it may have just domino affected from there. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what twists and turns they go down. And again, I'm not going to be surprised. Not saying it will happen, but I will not be surprised if we do get maybe a story that spun off from this in Fur After Dark involving her and Endora. Like we did with her and Hill in the Dish and Adventure Begins at Home. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. What do you think this is going to lead going into the whole scenario later on, as the story as the story gets further and further along? What do you think this is going to lead to? And do you think we might get a spin-off story that's kind of similar to that one and For After Dark with her and Endora? Or do you think it might, maybe, because again, people are speculating it could be waking up something in Endora that she's kept secret. Like maybe she is bisexual. Maybe she has had lesbian encounters, erotic ones as well before she met her husband. Maybe that's what we're going to find out too. So we'll have to see. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below. Live chat during the premiere if you haven't already. Link is in the description to my Teespring store. You want to find items there you can't find anywhere else. Also, check out the other outlets. The links are there for them, where you can find my content as well. But guys, give me your thoughts, and until then, I am out.